Hi, this is Amreen and welcome to the YouTube channel of Readadayclub. I'll start this video by talking about the author and the winner of the Golden Booker Prize, Michael Ondaatje. I happened to watch some of his interviews and read a lot of articles about his life and book, The English Patient. And for some reason, what struck me the most was the background he comes from. Michael Ondaatje's parents, who at the time were living in India, separated when he was only 7 years old. He was brought up by his mother and extended family in England. Childhood for him was something that happened very quickly. He even describes it in his own words as slipped past a childhood I had ignored and never understood. And he says that it was only much later in his life, through means like his grown-up children, did he come to the realization that it was all unusual. And his writing, his fiction is just him trying to make sense of, not make sense, maybe just understand his childhood. And the reason why I'm sharing this right now is that where we all deal with more or less the same feelings about childhood, about growing up. When you come from an unusual background, unusual here could also be a euphemism for chaotic or toxic. So coming from that and then entering adulthood, the real world may feel like a very normal thing to do, but it really isn't. And most of the times we don't even realize this until something or someone brings it to our attention. So anyway, let's talk about the book now. The English Patient is a novel you think you've got all figured out, but the story is quite eccentric. Not in a bizarre or unconventional manner, but the writing, the plot, and even the dialogues between the four main characters, all that is very complex to understand. But as you keep reading, you effortlessly get drawn into their essence, that is solitude. Now, all four of them are living a damaged, secluded life in an Italian villa, which used to be a hospital and before that an explosive mine. And all this is happening around the end of the Second World War. So historical references, nationalism, political agendas, racism, the proliferation of bombs and other such war and destruction-related elements are discussed through the lens of all the four different yet equally troubled characters. And in my opinion, the book is named The English Patient because all four characters stumble upon one another through his misery. While reading, I decided to mark one paragraph for each character that most accurately, describes his or her essence. So I'll start with the English Patient. An anonymous person rescued from a burning plane, his face and body damaged beyond recognition. And all the names of the tribes, the nomads of faith, who walked in the monotone of the desert and saw brightness and faith and color. The way a stone or found metal box or bone can become loved and turn eternal in a prayer. Such glory of this country she enters now and becomes part of. She is the woman he's in love with. We die containing a richness of lovers and tribes, tastes we have swallowed, bodies we have plunged into and swum up as if rivers of wisdom, characters we have climbed into as if trees, fears we have hidden in as if caves. I wish for all this to be marked on my body when I am dead. I believe in such cartography, to be marked by nature, not just to label ourselves on a map like the names of rich men and women on buildings. We are communal histories, communal books. We are not owned or monogamous in our taste or experience. All I desired was to walk upon such an earth that had no maps. Then there's the Canadian nurse Hannah, who happens to be one of my favorite characters. Till the nuns reclaimed it, she would sit in this villa with the Englishman. There was something about him she wanted to learn, grow into, and hide in, where she could turn away from being an adult. There was some waltz in the way he spoke to her and the way he thought. She wanted to save him, this nameless, almost faceless man who had been one of the 200 or so placed in her care during the invasion north. Two other characters also enter the scene. One is a former Allied agent who happens to know Hannah through her deceased father, and his name is Caravaggio, and the other is a young sapper. He's a Sikh from the British Army who diffuses bombs and clears areas of enemy mines. Now his nickname is Kip, which is short for Kirpal Singh. Kip's character I found to be very fascinating and so deeply rooted in and affected by the war and culture. The one thing he will never consider is himself, not his twilight shadow or his arm reaching for the back of a chair or the reflection of himself in a window or how they watch him. In the years of war, he has learned that the only thing safe is himself. There are fantastically written detailed scenes about the young sapper describing the anatomy of bombs. The author has made the whole process of bomb detonation seem so meditative. While I was reading it, it felt like watching a war movie and feeling goosebumps where the protagonist is faced with a life and death situation while trying to decide which wire to cut. Even the description of mines is something that I enjoyed in the book. The characters talk about their past, ideals, thoughts, emotions, addictions, love affairs, family, childhood, and obviously the Second World War and its impact. Private lives affected by public histories, all interwoven together to find some common ground that they all can stand on in order to make sense of and accept the unfortunate situation. And the prose is almost consoling despite it being a post-war novel. There are plenty of reasons apart from the fact that the author won the Golden Booker Prize for the book to read The English Patient. I also watched the film adaptation as well, which released in 1996. But to be honest, I didn't quite enjoy the movie. So please first read the book and then watch the movie. Because if you don't like the film adaptation, then I don't want it to dissuade you from reading the book. I hope you've got to know enough about the book to pick it up. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed watching the video. You can also subscribe to our monthly newsletters. The idea of having a book of the month on our newsletters is to encourage more reading and to be able to even understand books in a more profound manner. So I hope you enjoy all our videos. Thank you so much for watching.